Hello my dears, and welcome to my channel. As always, I am very happy and grateful that you've chose to spend your time with me. The ways you can support my channel: like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so I can appease the mighty algorithm, or click the notification bell of when to be notified of when a new video comes out. And I hope that you're all doing well, but if not, I do hope things will get better for you soon. But in the meantime, join me in meeting the Incancations Tarot. And this was created by Lynyrd-Jym Narciso and published by Paraluman Studio and released in 2023. And the box itself is 5 inches height, across is 3 inches, and the width is 1.60. And the title is on all sides of the deck, which I really like because I like to stack my decks in the box, so it makes it easier to see the title when they do that. And Lynyrd has produced some more decks, and I came across this deck through the Kickstarter for the Afterlight Tarot, and I was able to buy 3 of his decks through that Kickstarter. And I've already done a video on this one, so I will be doing, my next video will be on the Afterlight Tarot. Okay, and the other decks that I saw, it's not a total list because I think he did a lot. I think he's done a lot more. That I just kind of scanned his name and wrote a few of the decks. I will link the website, the publishing website, and any socials he has in the description below. And so he also has the Tarot de Maria Celia, the Vanessa Tarot, and the Tarot Ricket. Alright, so reversals will not be revealed. And this deck, it has the little intro card, and it shows you the back of it. And we have another title card, and the cards are the same size as the Rider-Waite-Smith. And the Rider-Waite-Smith deck that I'm using is the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, and it is published by US Game Systems, so if you're interested in purchasing it, you can check out the website. And there is an extra card. It's called the Happy Squirrel, and we will go through that when we go through the rest of the cards. And the description of this deck is a visual incantation of Tarot's timeless archetypes, rendered in an appealing, grungy, modern meets magical way. And I really like all 3 of his decks. These 3 decks that I've done videos on. I have not checked out his other videos yet, or his other decks. Sorry about that. Slip of the tongue. But I honestly, I think this is my favorite out of the 3 that I've done. I really love this artwork that he's done. And the illustrations in this deck are really, they kind of do a good representation of the deck and the meanings. Let me see if I can adjust this brightness. Get a little less bright. Well, I don't think it's going to work, so we're just going to have to work with it. Okay, I just moved it. Okay. I usually adjust things before I start a video, but you never know how things are gonna look when you're doing it. Alright, so when I do tarot videos, I like to use a Rider-Waite deck to do comparisons, and he has kept the major arcana with the same titles, and he has the suits are the same, cups, pentacles, swords, wands, and has the page, knight, queen, and king, pretty much all the same, those titles. And basically he doesn't have any of the numbers in any of the cards. He just has the title. And as you can see, there's a lot to look at, and it's very visually appealing. I really like this deck. And with the majors, you can see you could probably figure out what the card is even without the title. And I really like that. I like that he's able to illustrate what the card represents. Okay, so that was the major arcana. Okay, so next we are going to move to the wands. And these, they do have some imagery that you could use to interpret the cards. There's not much representation of the suit in the cards, but if you really spend time with the cards through the illustration, you can figure it out. This one does look like the Nine of Wands, though. Next, we will have the swords. have the Pentacles. Okay, and that is the deck, and we saw the happy squirrel. Yeah, I really love this deck. I have to admit it. And the card stock is really good. It's very flexible bendy. I mean, yeah. Very flexy bendy. It's the only way I can describe it. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at this guidebook. It has 96 pages, and we have the copyright and the content page. And then we have a foreword from Ulrich. Talks about the creator a little bit, and then an introduction, and he just talks about his background and how the deck came about a little bit. And it's a pretty long introduction. And then we have the Major Arcana section. And he just devotes a page, and it just basically talks about the artwork, goes into a little bit of background on the artwork, and at the bottom you have a paragraph for the meaning. And it also goes into a little bit of reversal. It doesn't say reversal, but when you read the meanings, yeah, it gives you a little bit of reversal meaning on the card. And that's basically it for the major section. And then we go into the minor, and this has the suit, what it's about, element, keyword, and the astrological signs associated with the wands, and basically does the same thing. It goes into the background of the card and a little bit about the artwork, and then you get your meaning. And then we go to swords, same thing. And the cups, get your little separator page. And then the pentacles, same thing. Get the suit of pentacles, information about that. And then the happy squirrel. Basically, he just talks about how it started, and it was an inside joke in the tarot community back in the 90s. I was not into tarot back then, so I don't know anything. This is the first time I've ever come into contact with the happy squirrel, and it was originally featured in an episode of the popular animated TV series The Simpsons. Oh my god. As a sort of cheeky jab at the oftentimes mysterious and inaccessibility of the cards of the tarot. And when it's used in readings, some suggested meanings are the unknown, the essence of non-essences, non-essences. I'm sorry, I cannot say that word. Quiddity, compulsive, but also in the context of Anarchy. And to not take everything seriously, life fucks you up, but maybe sometimes for the better. So it's just like telling you just, it means nothing, you know, relax kind of thing. And then we have acknowledgements. And I will link, there's the socials and the website and everything. And okay, so these cards are a little slippery. They are flexible, like I've said. So shuffling is really nice. And you can shuffle them that way. And depending on how your hands will let you shuffle and how your preferences are, you can side shuffle. Do it on the side. There's so many ways that you can shuffle the cards. There really are. I don't like the side shuffle myself. And then you can do the overhand. And you can also do the spreading out. If you want to do that, pick them that way. Alright, so let's see what message wants to come out and say hi. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, I talked about this card in the Blue Deviant deck video, and for some reason a lot of people like to interpret it as the guy looking bored, and he's like being impatient, and you know, I kind of don't see it that way. I mean, you can see it that way. That's one version to see it. And tarot, if you're very familiar about it, the cards are perspective based. You see one thing, another person may see another. Now, in this one, I really like this one because he's sitting there and he's looking out at his fields, and you could see it's a garden because it's got the hoe and the shovel. And he's just sitting there taking a moment, taking in all of the things that he has worked on and things that he's grown, and he's just looking at the labor and just taking it all in, and he's enjoying it. Now, you can look at it that way, or you can look at it, he's sitting, or you can look at it, like I said, that he's impatient. He's like, oh my God, when is this stuff going to come to fruition? Oh, it's taking so long. But, you know, it's all in the way that you look at it and how you interpret it. So it's a perspective-based thing. So that's why I like this version of it. All right, so that is just my thoughts. Take them as you will. All right, let's see what it says about the Seven of Pentacles. That is so weird that it popped up again, because I kind of emphasized it last video. All right. In the RWS version of the Seven of Pentacles, we are shown a man with his hands on top of his hose handle, his chin resting on them. He seems to have just finished working on the plants he is farming, and the fruits of his labors, shown as pentacles, are slowly ripening. The card gives a nice mix of active and passive energies. Active because it is a card of hard work and putting effort into something, like nourishing and watering a plant, pruning it, and watching it grow, flower, and then fruit. Passive because the card itself indicates a short rest between activities, a sort of catching one's breath before going ahead and working again. In this sense, it could also be viewed as a time for assessment and reflection. The Suit of Pentacles is a hands-on and a very practical one, and this card also gives the sense of assessing when things stand in terms of achieving your goals, with them already partly in sight, so you can make further adjustments to your activities to achieve them. I opted to depict this card in a similar fashion with a farmer inside a massive greenhouse, because it was closer to an urban setting, resting on a bench, rake and shovel crossed before him as he stares on his farm plants, pruned and organized into neat rows. In readings, this card relates to periods of rest and good endeavors. It relates to a time of short renewal when one must necessarily pause to get some rest and regain energy to forge forward with one's endeavor. It is generally a good card. During this rest period, this card also hints at assessing things and work so far, where things stand, and what more inputs are needed to secure a good outcome. It also hints that the fruits of one labor are already beginning to sprout, and seeing these add to the motivation to work harder at this pause, because success is much more visibly feasible now than at the start. Perfect. Perfect. I could not have said it better myself. Perfect interpretation of that card. All right, so that's pretty much all I have for this deck. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. And if you did get the deck, or if you already have it, let me know how it's working out for you. If it's not for you, let me know as well. I'm always curious about other people's viewpoints on a deck. But once again, thank you so much for joining me and spending your time with me. And I hope that you will join me with a future video. And I will be doing the Afterlight Tarot next. So until next time, take care and goodbye, my dears.